Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 13, I like 13, of my Primus Unabridged series. I'm standing here with Dizzy the Penguin, left to me by Dizzy the Player. We're going to do a little bit of Thaumcraft. This is a short episode, and we'll talk about next time, so let's get started. Yeah, Dizzy came by a while back. You may have seen this guy in the background. I hadn't actually pointed him out, but yeah, his name is Dizzy with a little heart. He's a little penguin from the Twilight Forest zone that Dizzy left me here. He's been hanging out. He's been here for like a week now, I guess. So I feel bad I haven't pointed him out, but yeah, there he is. He's cute. I'm going to leave him around. But yeah, I've been doing a little bit of building. Let's show you the new Thaumcraft Room. I put in walls and a ceiling. This is it. I think it came out okay. It's got a decent color palette for a magic room. And I've added in where I'm going to set up my activated nodes. So that's one thing we're going to do in this episode. I'm probably going to bring this guy down. Can I see what he is? No, I got to switch helmets here. I do have the dark helm, but I found that my regular Enderium Flux armor is just a little bit better for combat, so I tend to wear it around. So yeah, we've got several, well over 100, including 149 Spiritus, which should equal Perdicio, Terra, and Aqua will all be 149 when it goes to convert. Ordo is 114 on its own. Air is 115. The only one that's sort of short in is Ignis, which is sad. Didn't find too many Ignis nodes, and the ones I've got here just haven't been doing as well, so it's only 89. But that node is doing much better than this one. I mean, this one really hasn't changed too much in the last couple days. It's gone up a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'm going to go ahead and energize this one, and maybe I'll energize that one too, because I've got both spots set up here. Using a little bit of the Catwalks mod scaffolding, some micro blocks. This is a very as thin a block as you can get. That's a carpenter's collapsible block, completely collapsed, which so you can't see the redstone from below, but it should still give off a signal. And these V relays are actually hooked up to, behind it, an AE2 cable and or bus. Very informative. It's actually the V input, so that should be able to power anything that needs V. In particular, it should charge wands that are in here. So this one is down almost completely empty. So once I do get something hooked up, it should show up. And I have, I think, finally cracked the automation for this thing. All we're waiting for is the next pack update to add that, was it Gadomancy, I think it was called, which adds a way to activate this without having to whack it with a wand. But let's see, I think I still have some silverwood. Yes, I have 2 silverwood rods. Do I have enough Salus Mundus? I don't have any left. Balance shards, let me make some balance shards. It'll actually make 6, though I just asked for 2 because that's what the recipe makes. Let me cook those up into Salus Mundus, and I'll be right back. It's funny that I've got all this stuff over here now, but I still have to go back to the old base just to use a furnace. Well, it's a factory, but... Alright, so I should have some Salus Mundus in here. I got 6 of that. Let me make some thaumium caps. I'm going to need another wand. I'm running short of charged wands, I think, so it'll be really good to get these things activated so that I can recharge them right here. Toss that in, grab another one, and make a thaumium cap. There we go. Oh, I need to make some more thaumium nuggets. I think I can do 4 because I had 2 more silverwood. Yep, alright. Toss those in. Because those are 2 of the ingredients to activate them. So to make the charged thaumium cap, you need 3 Cellus Mundus, and an inert thaumium cap, you need 12 and 6. 12 Potentia, 6 Aurum. How are we here? Plenty of that, plenty of that. Okay, so to show you this in action, let's tell it to make 4 of these. Oh, I didn't get enough. Oh, no, I only got enough for 2. All right, 1 second. All right, now I got 12 of it. All right, so let's go ahead and order up 4 of these. Start. All right, so we got the cap in the middle and those on the sides, just as it should be. Let's get a wand. Oh, I still had one. And for now, I have to manually whack it, but not for too much longer. So the infusion provider, it's doing its thing. And the cap was sent to the right place. So far, that's always happened. I'm hopeful that it'll keep happening. Ah, did you see that? It was almost too fast to notice. It finished, it took it away, and then repopulated it for the next one. But I still have to whack it with a hammer. Well, a wand. To a man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. To a man with a wand, everything looks like magic. Alright. So that's 2. Should see it happen. Poomph. I need to notice a little flashy thing. We got something back here. It's a block update detector. This was the last piece of the puzzle. It detects when the inventory changes there. Not enough by itself, but with the right scripting, it solved the last piece. And the nice thing with this design is it doesn't require encoding the recipes in multiple places. Except, and I haven't done this yet, except for recipes that take more than 9 ingredients. For recipes that take more than 9 ingredients, you can't make a pattern to do it. Here's the pattern for this guy. I could stack these 3 in one slot, and that's fine. I just spread them out to make sure I had all 3. But some of them have more than 9 unique ingredients, and there's just not enough room in the recipe pattern to do that. But I can fix that when it comes time. So let's go down here and take a look. It's not much different than the way it was before. A few new things here. A little bit more over here. We've got the redstone receiver that's being updated by this block update detector. And between them is a piece of redstone. It seemed like putting any block directly against the detector, even this redstone receiver, when it triggered, it activated the receiver, which caused the receiver to update, which caused it to trigger again, and it would go into an infinite loop. But it must have special code that it ignores redstone lighting up. So as long as there's redstone between it and whatever you want to transmit the signal to, it works. So that was not too difficult to set up. Over here, this thing used to be over there. I moved it over here. This is the Redstone Emitter. Well, no, I guess I never showed you that. Did I show you any of the Steve's Factory Manager stuff? No, I don't think I did. Let's assume that I didn't, and we'll go over the whole thing. Steve's Factory Manager there, a bit of inventory cable connecting to the center pillar. So the Steve's Factory Manager can put stuff into the central pillar. That was the original thing I had. I don't think I showed that. This chest, if I go around to the other side, ignore this purple thing, we'll get back to it. That is the main input chest for the system. This interface here is where the patterns are. And I will probably have to add more interfaces to get more patterns here, because I'll eventually have more stuff programmed, I'm sure. Anything that I want to make more than once, I might as well program. And we have 2 chests here. We have a Skystone chest, just because it's different, and because I can open it when there's a block above it. Same with this strongbox. That's why I picked them. So the strongbox gets the ingredients. They arrive in here. So what happens next? Well, the Steve's Factory Manager, lots of stuff here. we'll get to all of that. Originally, I just had these. Silverwood Wand, Advanced Node Stabilizer. I didn't have one for the wand caps yet. But let's look at the Silverwood Wand here. This is a group, so we go into there. It's a whole other page. And it's slightly broken because I'm not using it. I disconnected the trigger. This was the version that I made in between last episode and this that used the entire recipe. So this is the ingredients for a Silverwood wand. So I'm basically encoding the recipe again. So the one recipe is in the pattern for AE2. That puts the items in the chest. And then this looks for those items. When it sees that complete fingerprint for that recipe, it knows what to do. It takes out the Silverwood log and sends it to the pedestal at the center. And then it takes out everything else and sends those to that Skystone chest. And the Skystone chest is hooked up to the item conduit we had last time, where all of the other pillars are hooked up, or other pedestals are hooked up with different priorities, and bouncing from one side to the other in decreasing priority so that the items are arranged automatically in a balanced way. So yeah, it dumped everything else in here. And then, at the end here, it would turn on an emitter. So yeah, you hadn't seen that emitter yet. Turns this guy on. It's not connected to anything. It just turns it on. Why is that? Because up at the top here, we're checking that redstone emitter. Well, it was the same one. And we're checking to see if it's 0, if it's off. If it's off, then that's what we're doing, what we just did. But once we get to the bottom of this and we turn it on, it'll now go down this path whenever the trigger activates. And this path is looking at the arcane pedestal to see if it has the Silverwood rod. So again, this is recipe-specific information in this program. If it finds the rod, if it's true, then it goes ahead and takes whatever's on the pedestal, puts it into the ME interface that's down here to send it back into the AE system, and then turns the emitter off. Off. Which makes it start going down the other path, which it only does if it sees the next batch of ingredients, if there's multiples. So I would have to write that same program again and again with the different set of items. And I didn't want to do that. It's not elegant. So these are basically trash. Instead, we have all this, which seems a bit bigger, but, and this is the good thing, it doesn't have any recipe code in it. I'm sitting here waving my arms around. Wave the mouse around instead. All right, how does this work? Trigger, just a regular timer. Condition redstone. Now, I could have made this a, I'll go ahead and lock that, a redstone trigger, but I kept it this way because the timers are good in here. Timers are helpful. In fact, I've got extra timers just to make sure everything goes off without a hitch. So every second it's going to check, and I can make that 10 seconds. There's no rush here. There is the redstone receiver right here, right over here. This guy. This is an emitter. This is a receiver. And this is a receiver. So this is the one that's far away, and that's for the end. And there's this one up here close, and that's for the beginning. So we're looking at the redstone receiver that's only 1 block away, you can see on the tooltip. And we're checking it to see if it has any positive signal. So what positive signal is it going to get? All right, well, it's hooked up to one of these remote comparators. And you saw these in the last episode. We did them for the node bullying. That eye is hooked to this chest. So if I take this eye out and I shift right-click on the chest and put it back in here, it's now acting as if it's a comparator attached to the chest. So as soon as something is placed in here, this will light up. And I just have this little bit of redstone here so I can see if it's lit up, and it's currently power 0. It's not lit up. There's nothing in the chest. But when something appears in the chest, all right, true. It's going to test something else. It's going to check the emitter. It's that same emitter we had in these other things that you can just turn on and off. It doesn't talk to anything. It's just like a bit that I can flip. And I want to make sure that it's off. Make sure this is off. It's off. We're not doing anything. So there's something in the chest. We're not doing anything. Here's the trick. From the input box, let's go into the target. I don't often come in here because I usually just leave a default. But if I click down here, you can use an ID range. Click that, and you can set in a slot number. Now I have it set to 0, the first slot. So it's going to take whatever's in the first slot of the chest. That's right here. And it's going to output it to the pedestal in the center. Okay? Then it's going to take everything else from that chest and dump it into the Skystone chest to be distributed balanced-wise around the whole arena. This is very similar to what we had in here, but we're not looking for a specific recipe. And then it sets the emitter, but it doesn't set it full. I'm going to have to move it up so you can see this. It only sets it to an output of 5. Why is that? Well, it's because I don't want to set it full yet. Because over here, this trigger is our end condition. Notice it's got a whole bunch of bumps at the bottom. This is set to be a redstone controlled. This one and most of them are all set to be on interval. Click that to redstone controlled and you get a whole bunch of new tabs. You set a redstone receiver, and this is the one that's 10 blocks away, so this is the one that's over by the center pedestal. Interval, I think, is like a cooldown in this case, so it won't trigger this again just because the redstone receiver is lit. It'll wait a second. Redstone sides, it doesn't matter. Analog redstone. Anything between 1 and 15. So if that one is lit up, that means whenever the contents of that center pedestal change, on high pulse. We have on high, while low, on low. High is when it turns on, while high is why it stays on, while low is when it's off, and on low is when it turns off. These aren't in the order that they happen. I just want it to go off when it turns on. So it's just going to happen once per pulse. What it's going to do is it's going to check that one redstone emitter that we set to 5 and see if it's 15. Well, we set it to 5. It's not 15. It's not going to go through here. So this doesn't happen yet. Which is good because we just sent these items out. This might trigger based on those and might still be lit up when it's done, and this might go off before the recipe is finished. It takes a while for these things to process, so I don't want it to happen yet. Next, we have these two little ones here. What do they do? All right, they're both set to 5 seconds, and they check the redstone emitter. If it's 5, oh yeah, it is 5. We just set it to 5. Set the emitter, output, to 10. That's still not 15. It's still not enough to trigger this, but it bumps it up to 10. 5 seconds later, we're going to do the same thing. If it's 10, set it to 15, if you can see that down there, 15. So now, 10 seconds, and why did I do 2? Because I don't know when these are going to go off. This one may be sitting at 4.5 seconds when this one finishes. And then a half second later, this one flips over. I wanted to make sure that plenty of time has gone by. So no matter where it is in its 5 seconds, it's up to 5 seconds. And then up to another 5 seconds. It doesn't guarantee 10 seconds, but it does guarantee a good bit of time. What I really should do is combine them under one trigger and split the condition. That'll guarantee at least 5 seconds. But that'll be for another time. This works. Because by the time these two have gone off, no matter how long it takes, that center pillar will have calmed down from getting its initial ingredient, and it won't be lighting up anymore. It won't light up again until the whole process is done and the contents of the pedestal change. Then it lights up. At that point, we are set to 15. It can go ahead and take whatever's on the pedestal and output it to the ME interface, and then reset our emitter to 0. And it's all set to go again. How does this get the right thing on that center pillar, though? Because I'm not telling it distinctly which of the ingredients that were dumped in here goes in the center. I'm just telling it take this first one. Well, it seems, and I tested it a good bit, and it always seemed to work. With these patterns, whatever's at the top of this list, 1 silverwood log, 1 node stabilizer, oh, well, not at the top of this list, excuse me, but whatever's in the pattern as the first item. Let me go up there to explain. Where's my hole? Where's my hole? There's my hole. Well, I fell. Come up here and look at the pattern here for this guy. Whatever's in this slot of the pattern seems to always end up in the first slot of the chest. Now, I'm not going to say it's guaranteed, but I've never seen it not do that when I've been watching. Or I should say it's always the first item to reach the chest. It may not end up in the first slot, maybe, I don't know, but it always is the first item there. Or first item, it's always in the same slot. Yeah, because it's got to be in the same slot or it wouldn't work. So yeah, it always seems to go in the right place. So that works. Now, I mentioned recipes that have more than 9 items. How will that work? Well, we'll have a fallback. I'll have one of these, basically, set up to fix the recipe if it has more than 9 items. And when I eventually encode one of those, I will show it to you on video. Because I'm sure there'll be a little... I haven't done it yet, so I'm sure there'll be some tweaks and some interesting things. But this is what I'm going to use to fix it. This is the Energistics Connector from Steve's add-ons. This is an add-on to Steve's Factory Manager. This guy has no interface, but if I make an input, I can target the Energistics Connector, and then I can ask for any item that I might have in my AE system, and if it's there, it will grab it. It basically gives it a window into my entire item collection. So, with one of those patterns, and I'm definitely have to do something in here to check for those patterns. These are probably all going to be given nodes, and they're all going to be chained together, and they're going to be connected right up in here probably, because it has to check to see if one of those special recipes is in the chest before it does anything else. Yep, that's going to have to be the way it is. What it's going to do is it's going to look for the fingerprint of one of those partial recipes, and when it sees one that it knows should be bigger because I've programmed it so, it will ask the AE system to get the rest of the ingredients, add them to the chest, and then go ahead and do the rest of the program. So we'll get to that when we get to that. But it works. I should now have a bunch of caps. Cap. Thaumium cap. Yep, 4 of them. And some silverwood rods that I had from before. And none of these... That wand isn't going to do it. This wand... Maybe if I wear these, I'll have enough. Nope, just short, because that's slightly used. I really need to get these things activated. So let's do that now. Let's go ahead and do that. I think I've got a spare... no, what are they called? Jump over to it here. I really wish you can click in this lower section and have it jump down, the way every other scroll bar in the world does. This thing. Okay, yeah, I have them both. Oops. I have them both here. And a spare teleposition focus. So I'm going to break that. Pop this. Oh, I forgot those are... I was crouching. That shouldn't have happened. I need to put another block there for the moment. Sure. Yeah. It's these builder scaffolds. They look nice, but they have some funky nature where if you click them with the block replaces them. And I should get them in my inventory, yeah. Which is sort of cool, but that's not what I actually wanted to do right now. Alright, so right-click it with that. Come over here. Put down its companion. I need the button. Button. And poof. It's over here. So all I have to do now is toss that back down. And... oh, maybe that collapsible block doesn't put out a redstone signal. That was a possibility. So instead, let's get the other type of carpenter's block, a basic one. Come on, don't want something. And get my hammer. Let's pop that one off. Put the carpenter's block down. Make it look somewhat nicer. Oh wait, that's not... I want one of the angled ones. That's what I want. Slope, yes. And I'll bang it a few times. There. That'll probably look good. Give that a redstone. There we go. That does give off a redstone signal. That will activate soon. Look at it draining. It's going to take a bit. Spiritus in particular is probably going to be one of the last ones because it counts as 3 different... that's strange, the box. Yeah, the Spiritus is taking a long time. Go grab this. I'll eventually put a new one there and start it charging up. I got to see if I've got any good nodes for that. It activated. There we go. 11, 11, 13, 10, 13, 13. We got 10, at least 10 of everything. Excellent. It was that bright. It was a bright node, so that gave us a bonus. And it is going into the V relay, so whatever wand I had in here, I didn't have a wand in there. Wand. That one's drained. It should. It's not. I thought it would charge in here. Well, that's disappointing. I'm going to have to make a hatch for getting down here. Make sure that this is online. 1 of 8 channels, yep. V-relay interface. It's connected up here. Everything looks good. Where's my hole? Oh, it's over here. Up, not down. I guess these things don't charge. So I'll have to set up a charging table. That's alright, I was going to do that anyway, just so that it would automatically put wands into it. Oh, let's do that now. Let me get the bits and I'll be right back. Alright, I think we're ready now. Had to do a little bit of experimenting. Here's what we're going to do. Let's go down here. I have upgraded the filing cabinet to an advanced filing cabinet, which just means making 2 more regular ones and some magical wood. I got plenty of magical wood. I've also exposed this bit of cable here. what I'm going to do is put a storage bus on the side of this cabinet, and in it I'm going to stick a fuzzy card. And its fuzzy is set to match any. I've put all the wands in here. I'm going to take out one of each type. I wonder if it'll... Nah, let's keep it clean. Not auto-populate it. I think those are gone. Yes, okay. So we'll put the iron capped, the gold capped, and the thaumium capped in there. Doesn't matter what their damage values are. Fuzzy is any. So let's see. There is 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 of them in there. So if I drop this one into the system, it should show up here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. Yes. Okay, it did go in there. 9 is more than 8. So they'll go in there. Now let's get my wrench out. So currently this was, when you push the button, it pulls the wand out, sticks it in there, pulls a full one out, and puts it in here. I want it to do the opposite. I want it to take damaged ones. Actually, let me get one of each out here. I want a full one of each. Full one of that. Don't have a full one of those. Let's charge one up. Oh, there's one in there, and I need to charge. Well, let's get the other part up first. I made one of these, the charge relay. It sticks on top like that. I'm going to put a facade over this. Hit it with a cable so cable's coming through the facade, and run it up like that. Stick this relay interface on top, grab a card, run over here. Actually, I think I want to take that off to get at it. Crouch, right click. So it's just like when doing P2P tunnels. Come over to this one, and regular right click it. Now I put that on top, not on the side, on top. Aha, there it goes. It is charging the wand. I'm curious if I whack this. I hadn't thought about this, but if I put this in here, will it charge now? It does charge now. Still, I'd like an automatic way to do it. I mean, it's good that if I put a wand in here, it'll always be charging. Maybe. Yeah, there it goes. So good. I didn't think about whacking that. I just did that. It worked. Yay. So, but this will be the automatic wand charger. So, is that charged now? No, it's still going. It'll take a little bit. But I can get charged ones of the other two varieties. One of these is charged. That one's almost charged. Let's put it in here. This one. And it's charged. So put those away. This is charged, that's charged, and I'm charging another one. Okay. So let's get out my wrench again so I can see these. This will now be, instead of full, I want to teach it each of them when they're full, but I want to blacklist it. How's it doing up here? Okay, it's ready. Yeah, one pops up there. And like that. So I've told it to blacklist full wands. Don't pull those out, but pull out every other type of wand. And insert anything. Up here, oops. I'm going to need another filter. Should have plenty. Yep, there's one. In here, put a filter, not on the insert, do it on the extract. And we're going to whitelist full ones. So we're only going to take out the full ones all the time. So as soon as one of these charges up, it should get yanked out, and another one that's not full gets shoved in it. Now the reason why this is good doing it with this unit here instead of the regular table is because I can't pipe things into and out of the table. Ah, there it went, and no one's going in. So that is now charging them automatically. So I don't need the button anymore. And I guess I don't need the... Let's see, if I break that, I can break that and that. And then put the conduits... Well, put one piece of conduit down and one regular block. Yes. Oops. One regular block can go there. Alright, so that is charging. This is a bit ugly, but I can maybe make it pop up over here and maybe cover it with something. There's a couple of different options. Yeah, probably just make a block right here and have it pop up. So I'll clean it up. But that is working to charge my wands. Yay, we have an activator node. Alright, so we're going to end the episode here. But I'm going to show you what we're going to do next time and ask you a question. The next mod I want to try is Pneumatic Craft. So I've started making a new room here. And you can see a little bit of the decor for it. I'm going back to the brick and concrete of the tower. But that's because that's going to fit with Pneumatic Craft, I think. So a nice big room here for Pneumatic Craft when it's done. There'll be a little bit of a second floor around the edges as well for additional materials. Now, as far as the usefulness of the mod, let's see. Pneumatic Craft. Oh, come on. Pneumatic Craft. It has, as one of its main thing, drones. Drones should be fun. There's a lot of things you can do with drones. Nothing that I really need to do. Ooh, I wonder what these do. Oh, those are plant-based. Heat frame. That's thermal expansion. Yeah, they're not as versatile as, say, a computer craft turtle or an open computers robot. But I've never played with them. I never played with the mod at all. Except a little bit in creative, getting ready for this. It's going to be a little different than what I've seen everywhere else because we don't have these seeds. We don't have the plants. They've been disabled in this release of the mod. I think where the mod is moving away from it. In order to make plastic, you have to do it sort of like the real world using these refineries. And these help too, the thermo-pneumatic processing plant. And there's even a tie-in to RF, but you have to progress pretty far before you can use RF to produce your air pressure. Still, I'm going to give it a try. As to what to do with the drones, there's nothing that I really need to do with the drones, so I guess it's what would you guys like to see me do with the drones? I mean, nothing huge or impractical, but, you know, something that might help you use them. I don't really need them for combat purposes, but maybe for automation of some sort. I know there's sort of a logistics type system in here using these frames. I've only had a really basic look at, and there's a logistics drone too. There's also this thing, the Programmable Controller, which is a non-entity version of a drone that can't do everything, but is good for doing like mining. So let me know what you'd like to see in the mod. I'm going to do a lot of the basic stuff to progress. I'm going to have to make these assembly units eventually, and the pressure chamber, and vortex tubes, and refineries, and all sorts of different things. But since I can ask the question before I get to that mod, there'll be time for me to see any answers you've got. So that's it for Thaumcraft for quite a bit, I think. I think it's time to move on to other mods. So, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.